Good morning. Welcome to the organizational meeting for 2026 through 2028 term of Calumet County Board of Supervisors. We have several items to go through this morning, but first there's just a few announcements. Every month we're going to have resolutions and ordinances that are placed over by Supervisor Stuckman, and they have to get passed around to the end. So if you don't need to sign it, just please pass it along quickly. I think today they're taken care of, but they will be there every month. The drawers underneath your desks do not get locked, so please do not put anything valuable under there. iPad should always go home with you, and the tablets actually get left on the table. We pick those up at the end of the meeting, the voting tablets. And lastly, I'm just asking you, please have patience today. I get to do this every 2 years, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking. And Cheryl's fairly new at the voting system, so just please be patient. So as I read the certificate of membership, please rise and give a brief introduction of yourself, and then you can be seated. I, Beth Leary, County Clerk of Calumet County, Wisconsin, do hereby certify that the following is a true and correct list of members of the County Board of Supervisors of Calumet County for a term beginning April 21st, 2026 and ending April 18th, 2028, as was certified by the County Board of Canvassers of Calumet County, Wisconsin on April 14th, 2026. District 1, City of Appleton, Ward 44, Andy Cleveland.
Hi, Andy Cleveland, very northwest corner of the county. Look forward to working with everyone in the next few years.
Thank you. District 2, City of Appleton, Ward 25, Jake Wayne.
Jake Wayne, I was appointed late last year, so I'm still pretty new to this as well.
Thank you. District 3, City of Appleton, Ward 13, Paul McCann.
Good morning, I'm Paul McCann. I'm a lifelong resident of Appleton.
Thank you. District 4, Village of Harrison, Ward 4, City of Appleton, Ward 45, and City of Menasha, Ward 14, Matthew Booty. District 5, Village of Harrison, Ward 5, City of Appleton, Ward 14, and Ward 46 is David Elliott, and he has been excused today. District 6, Village of Harrison, Ward 6, City of Appleton, Ward 15, Patrick Latour.
Hi, everybody, I'm Pat Latour. Nice to see you all again. Back for another term.
Thank you. District 7, Village of Harrison, Ward 3, and Ward 7, Pete Steer.
Good morning, Pete Steer, District 7.
District 8, Village of Harrison, Ward 8, City of Menasha, Wards 15 and 16, Kathleen Tunis.
Hi, Kathy Tunis. Happy to meet everybody.
District 9, Village of Harrison, Wards 9 and 13, City of Appleton, Ward 47, Ann Macheski. District 10, Village of Harrison, Wards 10 and 11, Joseph Miller.
Good morning. I completed 16 years continuous on the county board. I'm on the Lowell Sliver by the roundabout on 55 and 114. My district includes west of 55 and east of N. Bartlett goes up to 83 on a lot.
Thank you. District 11, Village of Sherwood, Wards 3 through 5, James Lowy.
Good morning, everyone. Second term here. Glad to see everybody here smiling and ready to give it to us.
District 12, Town of Woodville, Village of Harrison, Ward 12, Village of Sherwood, Ward 1, and City of Kaukauna, Ward 12, Nick Kessler.
Good morning, Nick Kessler, District 12.
District 13, Town of Brillion, Wards 1 and 2, City of Brillion, Wards 1 and 5, Samuel Breeden.
Thank you all. Excited to be here. I'm a lifelong resident of Brilliant and fortunate to marry, so I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. District 14, City of Brillion, Wards 2 through 4, Rick Voigt.
Good morning, I'm Rick Boyd, and I represent the biggest here of the city of Brilliant. Sam's got a couple of the northern part. My first year, hopefully I'll learn what's going on.
Thank you. District 15, Town of Chilton, Ward 3, Town of Rantoul, Village of Hilbert, Village of Potter, and City of Brillion, Ward 6, Mary Schwallenberg.
Thank you. Mary Schwallenberg, I live in Potter, and welcome both the new faces. Welcome you, and I think we can all learn together. Thank you.
District 16, Town of Chilton, Ward 2, Town of Stockbridge, Ward 1, Village of Harrison, Ward 14, Village of Sherwood, Ward 2, and Village of Stockbridge. Buzz Laughrin.
Good to see everybody again, ready for another term, and
District 17, Town of Brothertown, Town of Chilton, Ward 1, and Town of Stockbridge, Ward 2. Mike Hoffberger.
Good morning, Mike Hoffberger. I am in the southwestern part of the county.
District 18, City of Chilton, Wards 1, 2, and 5. Alice Connors.
Good morning and welcome to our new supervisors. I represent the city of Chilton, Wards 1, 2, and 5. Glad to be back.
District 19, Town of Charlestown, City of Chilton, Wards 3 and 4. Ronald Dietrich.
good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Look forward to working through the next 2 years. Have a fun day.
District 20, City of New Holstein, Wards 1, 2, 4, and 5. Brian Kolb.
Hi, I'm Brian Cole. I'm starting my second term, and I'm here to work with everybody.
Thank you. And last but not least, District 21, Town of New Holstein, City of Kiel, Ward 7, and City of New Holstein, Ward 3. Ty Stuckman.
Good morning, Ty Stuckman. Starting my 3rd term. Look forward to working with everybody.
So congratulations to everyone on your win, and look forward to working with everybody for the next 2 years. So if everybody would please rise, and if you want to hold your official oath, you may do so. And then raise your right hands, please. I state your name. Having been elected to the office of Calumet County Supervisor District, but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof, swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you. If you would sign your oaths and just put them to the front of your desk, I will pick them up later. And the certificates of election are yours to keep. All right, now I would ask you to log in and we will do roll call. Did you, Mike is showing you as absent. Okay, thank you. So there are 20 present and 1 excused. So we have a quorum. Next, if you would stand and join me in the pledge. Oh. I to the flag. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, our first order of business today is to adopt the rules of county board, which is resolution 2026-01. And I'm going to hand the floor over to Mr. Romanesco.
Good morning. So if you reviewed the packet when you received it, there is really only one remaining new section to the rules. The last term, any of the adjustments that were made by the Rules Committee were acted on by the previous board. So the remaining item, the new item, is highlighted in your packet, so I will spare you the reading of the entire rules. This section that was modified is addressing agenda items, and it is an addition that identifies agenda items shall be received from committee action. If a committee chair refuses to add a requested agenda item to a committee agenda, a request can be made to the Board of Supervisors chair to be added to the board agenda. If the chairperson for the board refuses to add the agenda item, a motion can be made to the full board to add the item to the board's next agenda. Such motion must be passed by a majority of board members. So that's a lot of words and a little bit confusing, but the intention behind it was that if there's an inability for supervisors to get an agenda item to a committee, commission, or board because the chair controls that agenda, so your rules indicate that the committee or chair shall approve the agenda. The intention was that any member could then seek some type of an appeal to get an agenda item on the committee agenda through the chair of the county board first, and if that also was denied, then it allows for a motion to be made at the county board for the full county board to identify it for future agenda items. So that is really the only new addition to that.
All right, just going back a little bit, I do have a motion by Supervisor Dietrich and a second by Supervisor Miller to approve Resolution 2026-01, and I have a request to speak by Supervisor Schwallenberg.
Thank you. First of all, I lost my agenda again. It just permanently is gone. I would like to move to amend the language in Rule 5. Thank you. In Rule 5 meetings, quote meetings, page 15, Section D, Agenda and Minutes, I move to delete the language. If the chairperson for the board refuses to add the agenda item, a motion can be made to the full board to add the item to the board's next agenda. We have never had an issue with this ever happening before.
All right, I've got a motion by Supervisor Schwallenberg. Do I have a second to that motion? Do you need me to read it back?
Please.
Okay. Mary, would you read it back, please?
To move to delete the language. The quote if the chairperson for the board refuses to add the agenda item, a motion can be made to the full board to add the item to the board's next agenda.
Thank you. So that's the third sentence that's being deleted.
3A, sorry, 3A,
Yes.
yeah.
Do I have a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
You don't have the amendment on. She doesn't have.
Do you need the amendment?
Hold on. Yes. Up top, left. Okay, so Mary, would you please make the motion on your pad for the amendment?
Okay, all I've got is request to speak. We've got already a motion on the first one.
Right, but it should be an amendment, so.
Actually, just stop it. That's all right. Oh,
There we go.
Discuss it then.
Do I have a second to the motion?
I seconded it, but I
You,
didn't want to.
can you do the second for her? I don't know if you can.
Where is future? Chairperson is not, she's still set up as chair. but
Yeah,
she's
it
not
won't
on
let
it.
you because you're still set up as chairperson. Would anybody else like to second the motion? Okay, so we do have a motion and a second by Supervisor Schwellenberg and Supervisor Dietrich to amend the rules of order. Is there any discussion? Supervisor Hofberger?
Thank you. Just to make sure that I understand what we're saying, we're now saying if this was to be approved, that if somebody brought up a motion, let's just say the motion was not to have lights in the courthouse, and that committee chairman or any committee chairman would not put it on their committee, then it came to then it went to the chair of the county board, and the county board person at that time would say yes or no, and if that person said no, there would be no lights in the courthouse. Is that correct?
Well, the example is not exactly true, because it would still have to pass that we would not have lights. But it would allow it to be on the agenda. So all it's doing is saying, Mike, that if you're the chair of planning and zoning, as you have been in the past, and you do not allow an item on your agenda, your committee members can seek approval from the county board chair to have that included on the county board agenda so that it could be debated and voted on. Correct? And if the deleted section occurs, that stops there. If the deleted section on the amendment doesn't occur, then it would allow a board member to bring it to the full county board for a majority vote.
So what guidance does the chairperson have of the county board?
I don't understand the question.
What can a county board chairperson say, no, we're not gonna put it on the agenda?
Correct. Because your rules right now indicate chairs of committees, commissions, and boards control the agenda, and the chair of the county board controls the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Hofberger. Supervisor Miller?
Thank you. I'm curious as what time frame this would involve to communicate all this. Just give me maybe an example. Would it happen in a day, or could it happen in an afternoon? That's what I thought. Todd said.
I'm sorry, I was shaking my head rather than answering out loud. My dad used to say, I can't hear your head rattle, so I won't do that. The time that would be required to occur would be the time appropriate for noticing an agenda. So we'd have to meet the public requirements, the notice requirements. So that's the best way that I can answer that, unless you have a better way to answer that one. Okay.
Okay, so based on that, I'm gonna vote no.
Thank you. Supervisor Dietrich, did you want to speak?
Thank you, Madam Temporary Chair. I want to understand, and I hopefully can address my questions to the chair, and she'll go back to Supervisor Swallenberg. Why would we delete sentence 3? I don't understand what's the motivation.
Do I ask her?
You can ask Mary.
Supervisor Schwellenberg, would you like to respond?
Otherwise Todd can. But we've never had an issue before that that this would even involve. The chair controls the agenda, like Todd said, but when I've been chair, if somebody wanted something on the agenda, I didn't have an issue with it. And the county board chair probably wouldn't either. It just, I don't understand why it was put there in the first place personally.
Doesn't have a speaker.
Yep. Supervisor Breeden?
I guess, there we go. I guess, I mean, just from my looking at it, this just seems to make sense to me. So, like, if maybe it's not been a problem before in the past, but, I mean, why wouldn't we want to make more ways to bring stuff to the floor? It just seems like it would make it easier to get stuff done. And so, that's just my 2 cents on it. It just seems to make sense, that you would be able to make it easier to bring things to the floor.
Thank you. Supervisor Dietrich?
Thank you again. I seem to recall in the past there was some language, and I apologize, I did not read through this to see if it's still there, but maybe people can help me. There used to be a provision that item could come before this board if 2 supervisors brought it to the board. Is that still operable, or has that been somehow removed?
It's not,
That was under
Well, it's not
resolutions.
removed, if that's your question, Ron. There is still an option so the practical example of that, and you've seen us do that several times, is if we have a resolution in order to conduct business more timely sometimes, there isn't an opportunity to go through a committee prior to county board. So we will seek 2 county board supervisors to bring forward a resolution, for example. Now, that, I believe, would still require the chair allowing us to put it on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. I understand that now. And those who are new to the board, I'm going to share something with you, hopefully not take a lot of time. But when I came to the board many years ago, and I learned all the rules about open meeting and discussions and things like that, I stumbled upon the rule that Todd just mentioned, that 2 supervisors can bring something to the board, all right? It makes sense. But I felt encumbered because you're not allowed to talk to supervisors, so I was puzzled as to how 2 supervisors could bring something forward if they can't talk to each other because of open meeting law. But we've gotten through that. I've gotten comfortable with it over the years. I'm just saying you're going to run into some of these things as you get more involved in county business. All right, so bottom line, as I understand this, that language is still there, and this is simply a way, as I see it, for a supervisor to get something on the agenda if they feel they're being blocked by either chair of a committee or chair of the board. So I'm going to vote against this amendment to the original language. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Miller?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Hasn't been a problem in the past. Why make it complicated? Again, I'm going against this. Let it be. Carry on. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Steer?
Thank you. I'm going to vote against this also, because I recall in my early days on the board that a certain committee would not push through an item to speak. So that's where we had the problem. It never got moved on. They wouldn't allow it. So, and those reports, this is what we do.
All right, seeing no other requests to speak, we'll vote on the amendment motion, which is to delete the 3rd sentence on page 15, section 3A. An aye motion would delete the sentence, and a nay would not. Thank you. There were 5 yeses, 15 noes, 1 absent, so the amendment motion failed. So we're back to the main motion to adopt the rules of order. Am I wrong? Wrong? Okay.
This is the main motion.
So Kimberly's asking me to clarify, because you're back to the main motion, to remind everybody that the highlighted section as written remains in the rules. Does that make sense to everybody, and everybody understand that? Okay.
Do you want to keep?
I have no other edits or additions from the Rules Committee to cover, so I'm done with my portion unless there's more questions for either one of us.
Supervisor Dietrich, did you have a question?
Yes, I wanted to speak to this main motion, and my question, I think, has been somewhat answered. I wanted to know where this paragraph A came from. And apparently, it came from the Rules Committee prior to this meeting. That was my question.
That's correct.
Are there any points of discussion? This really isn't for the motion, but I got to ask at this point, since you said this is the only item that came forward from the Rules Committee, can I conclude from that that all meeting times, et cetera, will be as in the previous rules, or did those all go away?
Nothing's changed. Nothing else has changed in the rules, so everything else is the same.
So,
Other than what you adopted at a previous board meeting.
correct,
So
I
that's
get-
all still here.
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
thank you. I kind of get that.
Mhm.
So, everyone's happy with the meeting times at board meetings at 9 o'clock or what, all that stuff that we debated last 2 years ago is still existing as it was last year. Okay.
Supervisor Tunis?
Thank you. My question is, if this is voted down, this one piece, what does that mean? What does that do to our voting?
What part, Kathy, are you talking about?
If we vote no, that means that the whole thing is voted no. So it has to go back, right, for alterations. Is that what that means? So if you don't like the amendment that's added, then you're voting no for the whole document and not just that amendment.
So if you're voting no, I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding your question. If
If
you
you-
vote no on the main motion, you're voting down the
If-
rules as they are modified right now. Yes.
That's true, but would it mean then that the rules that they were before would stand?
Yeah, they would, I guess. We don't
So then
modify
the-
the rules.
the
We've
rules
never
as-
had, actually, Kathy, you're asking a question that we've never had, so let me ask Kimberly, because I don't think we've ever had an organizational board meeting where the rules were not adopted in some fashion.
I'm just asking what a no would mean. And
Well,
what
the
a
no
yes.
votes, the no on the main motion votes down the adopting of the rules as they're provided here. But I don't know that we have no past practice of the entire motion failing.
So either you vote no for the entire rules, or you vote no, or you vote yes, and then everything stays. So you don't have an option to vote for the one change in the rules, because that's what you should be voting on.
1 second. So Kathy,
Yes.
so the question, I just want clarification. Are you referring to the modification in the current rules that's being proposed by the Rules Committee only, that section?
Yes.
Because if someone is interested in removing that section, then an amendment to the main motion is appropriate, similar to what Mary had done that failed on a portion of those, would be to make a motion, for example, if you do not like the language entirely, to make a motion to remove the entire paragraph, for
Okay.
example.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Supervisor Booty?
Thank you very much. I have a question that I would like to pose to people who served on the Rules Committee who brought this 5D3A forward. about how they envision the mechanics of this working. As it appears to be written, it looks like any individual member of a committee could bring forth a request to the county board chair to add an agenda item to the county board agenda. And if the county board chair refuses that, then any individual member can add an item to the county board agenda. Is that the intent, or is the intent here if the committee as a whole, except for the committee chairperson, wished for an item to be acted on? I'm just trying to understand that. Thank you.
Yep.
So, Matthew, are you looking for intent, or are you looking for what was actually provided to you in the rules?
Well,
Because that's two different things, if
yes.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
as
it's
the rules
written,
are written, it's unclear as to who can make this request.
It doesn't specify who has to. So therefore, it is indicating any request can be made by any one of the board members or committee members to do so. So whether that, I mean, I'm not indicating that that's the intent, but that's the
Okay.
language that's
So
been
then
provided to you.
I'd ask if we could pose a question to the people on the Rules Committee if that was the intent, that any individual member of a committee could unilaterally put an item on the county board agenda.
If they're willing to answer that or remember or recall their intention, then Beth could ask one of them, because Ty was the chair, if you want to know who the...
Supervisor Stuckman?
I'll pipe up. So I think when we voted on this 6 months ago, the intent was to have another mechanism for people to get stuff on the agenda. At the end of the day, we're just putting items on the agenda, right? It's not a mass, the board still has to approve stuff at the end of the day. So we were looking at it as another mechanism, because this has come up in other counties, and I think Supervisor Steer mentioned it before. It has come up here in the past that we didn't have that opportunity, so that's why I believe we wrote that into the rules at the time.
Okay. Supervisor Booty, you still have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Then I would propose to amend sentence 2. To state, a request can be made by a majority of a committee to the Board of Supervisors chair, and then continue on. As written. The intent here being that if a majority of a committee wishes to override the will of its chair, who is being intransigent, then they would have the mechanism to bring something forward to the county board. In that case. So, once you're ready, I would.
You can't second it yet. We're in discussion.
Matthew, could you state it again? We're just trying to make sure that your suggestion is going to be covered by an open meeting, and how practically that would work if you're looking for a majority of a committee to take an action on something that's not on an agenda. Could be problematic for open meetings laws.
I was assuming I would be following roughly the same thing as the two supervisors being able to bring an item forward.
Except for that you're talking about a majority now. where the two supervisors are usually indicated by staff, and we pick two, which then doesn't create a majority of anything. So I just want to make sure if we can try to modify it to meet what you're hoping to achieve.
Yeah, so my intent is not that we're going to be beholden to any one individual supervisor to just put something on the agenda.
Well, the intention would have been to require the county board action to do so.
But that essentially, any individual can put something on the agenda that makes the county board take action to put something on the agenda. So making the county board take action is essentially putting something on the agenda.
County board chair or committee chair, which you've been operating under.
I mean, I would prefer everything goes through committee, but I'm trying to work
Okay, so
through the mechanism here of trying to keep this thing intact.
Okay, just give us a minute here then, okay? While you're thinking about it also. So just so everybody knows, what I'm asking Kimberly is if, and I want to make sure this meets what you're intending. So in the current language, it indicates somebody can do that at the full county board. So if they were allowed to do that, let's say it's planning and zoning, I just keep using that as the same example for consistency's sake. Not that you're the problem. So if planning and zoning is meeting and the chair is refusing to include something, could there be a motion made at the meeting to indicate setting an agenda item for the next meeting, and that would require a majority vote of that committee? So that would meet your intention, correct? If that were allowed?
I mean, I guess the other question here is, how do we make, even in the language here, it says a motion can be made to the full board to add an item to the board's agenda. How do we even make a motion?
That's what I just asked. How is it different?
How do we make a motion to do something if it's not on the agenda?
Right. The intention, I believe, was to have a portion on the agenda to set the next agenda item. It was intended to set up so it would require that ability to do that for the next agenda, but Kimberly's taking another look at it.
Okay, so I guess if there's a standing agenda item, in which case we'd need to amend further up in the rules of order in the standard agenda to add an item there.
Yes. I think so.
That would make more sense to me, that there's that mechanism. In which case, essentially, anyone can introduce a motion, and that would still need a second at
So
the
that
county board
item-
level.
So that's what I was seeking clarification for, and can you just read that, since I can't lean over and be on my microphone at the same time?
So there is the county board meetings agenda in your rules, and it is on page 9 of the rules, page 14 of the handouts. Under 2, order of business for the county meetings, maybe as follows, and it identifies how the agenda is laid out. There is M, as in Mary, consideration of additional agenda items for the next board meeting. That would be where the motion would come in. If the committee chair refuses and the chair of the board refuses, then it could be made a motion at the board meeting, and then the board decides whether to put it on their agenda for the next meeting. Does that make sense?
Okay, so we would just then need a mechanism to make, or I guess need to make sure that we go through the process of knowing that the committee chair has refused this, and then the county board chair has refused this before the supervisor makes that motion.
That is correct.
So the thought would be, if you are still interested in that motion that you were wanting the majority of the committee, Matthew, then we could modify the committee agenda to include future agenda items. It's not a typical agenda item. It's not even on your current county board agenda. It's not been typical to have that included.
Matthew, if you would want, I understand what your intent is, so my recommendation would be leave that motion alone, the current motion, but then if it passes, add a motion to add what is in M to the committee agenda.
Yeah, I'd have to do that there too. I mean, I guess I was just trying to figure out if that was the intent of the Committee on the Rules of Order or not, but in any case, I said what I said, and I had made a motion there, so.
So we have a motion. Oh, no, because we want to make sure.
Because we hadn't ever
Okay.
finalized the wording for that motion, so we don't really have one. I don't have one.
Could you just repeat your motion one more time, Supervisor Booty?
Yes, I had said in the second sentence, it would be, a request can be made by a majority of the committee to the Board of Supervisor Chair. And that would be the edit there, add by a majority of the committee in that sentence.
Right, just so the way it's written right now, you would be in violation of the open meetings law
Mm-hmm.
unless it was discussed during a committee meeting.
Yes. So unless I can also, while I still have the floor, also amend my, or add to my motion to edit in Rule 5A 9C
What page are you on?
page 6 of the rules document.
Under committee agendas.
Insert a new section 12, additional items for next agenda, and then renumbers numbers 12 and 13.
I understand. I understand.
I hope that is clear then. But again, of course, if this is totally against what the intent of the Rules Committee was in the first place.
All right.
I was just trying to interpret it, so.
We're just getting the voting system ready, so thanks for your patience. Ready?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, put it up. You went to voting. Back. I don't. All right. I don't know, maybe not. Okay, well, we're going to abandon the system for this amendment. So the amendment is on page 10 of the rules, second sentence, a request can be made by a majority of the committee to the Board of Supervisor Chair to be added to the board agenda. Correct, Matthew? And then back on page
Page 6.
6.
Oh,
To-
rules page 9.
Okay.
Insert.
Yep. To insert consideration of additional agenda items for the next committee meeting. Board meeting, committee meeting. Yes,
Committee.
committee meeting.
Next meeting, whatever it is.
Right.
Okay. So we have a motion, and Supervisor Miller, did you still want to second that motion?
Thank you, Mel.
Okay. And because we're abandoning the voting system for that, are there any requests to speak on that motion to amend?
Yes, I have it, yes, yes, yes.
Supervisor Hoffberger?
I'm assuming that what this was meant to do, and I guess I have to ask Supervisor Booty, but that anything that brings more discussion at the committee level, I am in favor of. Because at the committee level, usually it's a smaller group, and people know each other, they feel more comfortable, and they talk more, and they question more. So I think if Supervisor Booty's intent was to get more discussion on the committee level, I'm all for it. But somebody has to tell me if that's true. Is that true? Todd, I'm just asking you, just in your opinion, is that true?
I think what I heard Supervisor Booty indicate was that he was trying to avoid any one individual adding an item to an agenda, but rather a majority of the committee being able to add. Is that correct, Matthew, or do you want to just speak to it yourself?
Yeah, I'd rather have ideas be vetted by the committee before it comes to the board. I mean, as we just see, one person can make a really bad idea, but if it goes through a committee, sometimes you work out the bad ideas. Thanks.
All right, so we do have it up on the voting system.
Did that answer your question, Mike? Or- Okay.
Joe, would you like to make the second, please? Thank you. Supervisor McCann?
If I could ask just a clarification question. It seems as long as that item M is in the county board list of actions, any supervisor can bring an item to the county board to be added to the next agenda. Right, so this seems, yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem that Supervisor Booty's language changes that fact. So all of this seems redundant to that item M.
Can I explain?
Yeah.
Supervisor McCann is correct that if M is added to the committee agenda, what would happen is it would be brought by a committee member as a motion. It would be seconded potentially, and then the committee would address it. And then it could be voted down as a majority of the committee does not think it should be added to the agenda item, or it should be added to the agenda item. What it doesn't do is it doesn't then require a majority to go to the chairperson based on Supervisor Booty's motion. Does that make sense, Supervisor McCann?
It does, except, I mean, that's at the committee level.
Yes.
My point is, at the board level, it's already in there. So I could go to the committee, don't say a thing at the committee, I could bring it up still at the board because of item M.
Yes, that is true.
So it only takes one person to bring something up at the board level to get it on the next agenda. It's already there.
That is true. And then it would be a motion to the full board. Full board would discuss it and
Right.
either approve it to be put on the agenda or turn it down,
Right.
deny.
So even the new language is somewhat unnecessary when it comes to item M there.
Thank you. Supervisor Steer?
I'm going to say again what, this happened with a previous administrator. There was a committee, the admin committee, which was only 5 members, I believe. What happened was, it went to the admin, died there. There was no way we could bring that back to get it on there so it could go to they never sent it to the full county board. So they had a chance to discuss it, and it died. And some of us didn't think that was right. So that's where I stand. The members here, whether it's a couple from the committee or whatever, should have the opportunity to get something to the full county board. It shouldn't die in certain committees like it did in admin more than once. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Steer. Are you going to speak? Okay.
So Supervisor Steer, to your point, with M being in the rules now, that situation would not happen because someone from the committee could make a motion at the full board to have something added to the full board committee, or excuse me, the full board agenda for the next board meeting, just with M.
Yes, but if you're not on a committee, you may not see that item or know about it, and it just dies there. And
It wouldn't die there if somebody on the committee brought it to the full board under M. Right, made a motion to add it to the agenda on the board for the next board meeting.
Okay.
There would be discussion about that if it was seconded, and then there could be an explanation as to why they want to add it to the next board agenda.
okay, I'm good then. Thank you.
say that.
So if, Todd was just saying, if that occurs, that scenario occurs that I was just explaining, it doesn't require approval or disapproval by the chair, it's a full majority vote. Does that make sense? Because the chair just votes like everyone else. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Supervisor Laughrin, did you want to speak?
No, I'm good. That's exactly. I just wanted to, when we put this together, it was really basic. It was not supposed to be reinventing the wheel here. And that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted to be able to get it to the full board. It was as simple as that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other requests to speak on this amendment motion? Oh, Supervisor Schwellenberg.
A little bit on the confused area. Under the agenda, then we don't need that highlighted area that we've been discussing for the last. Did we vote on that already? The change. Okay, Matthew's amendment first. Jeez. This happens all the time. Sorry, Matthew.
So just so everyone is clear, M would require it to be on the board, the full board agenda. There's no mechanism to force the committee chair to put something on the committee agenda. Unless you add an M to the committee agenda. So for ease sake, what that would look like is a motion to delete the new section. That gets voted on. And then a motion to add M to the committee agenda. Is that clear? It's getting really confusing, but.
I think that's the clearest.
So we have to vote on this amendment, though.
There's a motion on the floor, so that needs to be addressed before any other motions are made.
Supervisor Schwellenberg, you still have the floor? Okay. Okay. Supervisor Booty?
Cheryl, could you just save the text of the second half of that motion, please? I think I might want that for a future motion. Thank you.
Just read, he wants you to read it.
To read it?
Yeah.
Well, you might just want to copy that, because that might be a motion, and make just the second half of that in the future to.
Okay. Any other requests to speak on this amendment motion? Okay, so we are going to vote on the amendment as Supervisor Booty and Supervisor Miller brought forward. Please vote your ballot. The amendment motion failed. There were 5 yeses, 15 noes, 1 excused. And now we are back to the rules. Oh. Supervisor Booty?
Thank you. Okay, so, on page 6, Rule 5A9C, we're going to copy Rule, we're going to add, that new Part 12 in there. Renumber 12 and 13, essentially adding the new Part M in there for committees. And then, with all deference to the work of the rules on the Committee of Order, which I really appreciate, on page 12, be deleting Rule 5D3A. Since we now realize we have a agenda item M.
I would like to point out that in the packet, it actually paginates the pages different.
Oh.
Just because it shrinks it down, so
I'm
we're
sorry.
looking at page 15 of the agenda packet.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So, yeah, it started on page 11 of the packet, your first part of your motion, and the second part of your motion is on page 15 of the packet. We're just waiting for the voting system. Yep. Yep. And then page 15 of the packet.
I have it on page, and it's rule, it's actually rule M from page 14, right? Section 1, I read language from.
Yes.
Insert on packet page 11. On packet page 11. Well, to read language from M on the rules, this does not read well.
Should I do? Really?
I think I've got, I just want to make sure it reads so that people understand. Yep. There you go. Insert 12, treat language from. It's not very clear, but.
It's not clear.
Well, that's the first half.
I don't know if you can go back, can you? We're going to probably have to fix that manually, because I think once you put an amendment in, so we'll have to put that second part in manually.
I got it. What does he want to delete?
D3A.
Then if you like, I'll just hit the motion button.
Please. And do we have a second to that motion? We have a second by Supervisor Cleveland. And Supervisor Hoffberger, did you want to speak to this amendment motion, or was that from a prior?
I would like to speak though. And I would say this, I think right now everybody's confused. I think somebody needs to say it really easy and fast so we can understand what you're doing, or we should study it and bring it back at another meeting if we can do that. Thank you.
We can clarify what it actually does.
So what this motion is doing is deleting the new section, the highlighted section, deleting that, and then adding what is on M for the the county board agenda to the committee agenda.
What does it say though?
So what that allows is if a committee chair does not put something on the agenda, M would allow a committee member to make a motion to have something placed on the committee agenda for the committee to discuss at the next committee meeting. Yeah, it's a majority vote. You're welcome.
Supervisor McCann?
So, and I think that the next part of that is, as long as that language is in both the committee level and the board level, the new language that was highlighted is not necessary.
That is correct.
Any other comments on this amendment motion? Oh, Supervisor Breeden.
I think I understand this, but I just wanted to ask, like, if anyone on the Rules Committee would like to speak, if this still accomplishes, like, what they were attempting to accomplish with the original highlighted section that's in front of us.
Thank you.
Is sure a good answer? No, I think it does. I think it does in the long run. So, like I said, we just argued about something that probably will never happen, but I think we've got to accomplish what we need today. Thank you.
Supervisor Laughrin?
As long as we can bring it to the full board, that was we wanted, if somebody on the committee wasn't getting what they wanted at the committee level, if they're allowed to still get it to the full board for their consideration. That's what we wanted.
Which M does.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. Any other comments or suggestions? Otherwise, we'll vote on this amendment motion. It's to delete the highlighted area on page 15 of the packet and to add M to committee agendas on page 11 of the packet. Please mark your ballot. All right, the amendment motion passed, 16 ayes, 4 nays, 1 excused. So back to the amended rules. Nothing to add? Okay, are there any other, anybody else wish to speak to the board rules? You can? Hit the discuss button, sometimes that brings it up.
Yeah, we are on discuss.
Okay, who's up first? Supervisor Steer, did you have a request to speak? All right. Supervisor Swallenberg?
I guess, you know, and as asked the question about
times of the meetings are involved in this too. So the meeting time would stay the same. I'd like to make a motion that we go back to the old way, that we, in the summer, meet at night, and in the winter, meet in the morning.
Can you tell me what page of the rules that's
Oh,
on?
excuse me, I'm sorry. It's page 13 of the packet or page 8 of the rules.
Thank you.
Very bottom D. All meetings will begin at 6 PM, except for the annual meeting.
Okay. And you want all,
I don't remember exactly which months we did that.
November's day, it was December through April was daytime, and May through November's daytime.
October, I thought.
May begins the evening. Is that correct?
Okay, I don't know, yeah, I don't remember what it was, but. And it was done specifically because of weather conditions and having people on the road at night, especially the people that have got to come down from the Appleton area.
Okay, so meetings prior to this started at 8:30 in the morning for day meetings and 7 PM for night meetings.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll just get it on the voting system.
If I may, I would like to make a comment that when you put, like you've got adopting the rules of the board up there, when somebody makes you a motion or something, who makes the motion covers what you are telling us is, the print is on our pads here. I don't know if that can be resolved. So unless we can't read it up there.
You can't read it until she has put up, if I'm
No, but then when
understanding you
somebody
correctly?
makes a motion, that those names cover what the motion is on our pads here,
Oh.
at least on mine.
I don't see what's on your end, unfortunately.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
and things have changed. I don't know if you can change that or not. Can you change that? No. Sorry, he said no.
And then Pat, when you were 13 meetings, November 17 meetings, December 3rd, 9, 8,
8:30. Do you want the organizational, October or
can
November, to stay day meetings?
That can stay the way it is. That's,
8 AM or 8:30 PM, or 8, I'm sorry.
are you talking the organizational meeting?
Organizational meeting and the annual budget meeting, do you want that at 8:30 AM or at 9 AM?
It's always been 9, hasn't it? Let's do it at 8:30. It's easier.
8:30, okay.
Won't pass anyway, so what's the difference?
Do you wanna? Yes. May through September. Because,
May through November 7th.
yeah. No, November's not 7 PM. November would be 9 AM. That's the budget meeting.
Okay.
But, yeah, but this is. Okay. All right.
Mary, just clarification, are you just addressing the regular meetings and leaving the annual meeting?
That sounds right to me, yes. It's strictly the regular board meetings.
Just leave everything else the same. So your motion is to change meetings held from December through April to begin at 7 PM and meetings.
No,
Oh,
8:30 AM.
yeah.
Oh.
30 AM and then 7 PM.
And then 7 PM, May through
It's really
September.
September. Yeah, it's
You've got
September,
October
not
here.
October.
To begin at 7 PM. Morning meetings to start at 8:30 or 9,
8:30.
Mary?
8:30.
Yeah, she's, oh, she said 9? I thought she said 8:30.
You want 9 for the organization?
We're just working on the regular meetings. We're not changing the other ones.
All right. Clear as mud. You have it up? Okay, do we have a,
You're discussing?
we need a motion from Mary.
Okay.
Did you put your motion up? Does it allow you to put motion on?
There we go, yes.
Okay.
Got it.
And, okay, and we have a second by Supervisor Dietrich. So we do have a motion and a second, and Supervisor Dietrich, did you wish to speak?
Thank you. Interesting, I thank you for the motion, Mary, but I'm going to recommend we vote this motion down so I can make a motion that sets all the county board meetings at 9 a.m. regardless of the topic or whatever the heck time of year. The reason being, we've been doing this for 2 years, and before that, we had a schedule that went back and forth. The logic was to allow public participation for some people who work first shift, people who work night shift, et cetera. We have not seen any increase in public participation at these meetings unless there's a topic of vital interest, and then people make whatever means they need to get to the meeting. So if we have a standard meeting, 9 o'clock in the morning, this is a motion I hope to make. If we vote this motion down, I'll make that motion. Thank you.
Supervisor Macheski?
For our new members, I would just say we did switch it to 6 my first term for those of us that are working. I know everybody has been supportive of me attending virtually if weather were bad. I know nobody likes to drive at night, but for those of us who are younger and working during the day, it is really nice to have that time at work and to be able to come and be present at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Supervisor Kolb?
I agree with everything that Ann just said. That's what I was going to say. I work. I know in the past, if you looked around, everyone was retired. Younger people want to get involved, and we still have to work for a living. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Breeden?
I want to speak to this just because I had some people give me a heads up it was probably going to come up. And like, this is something that I was talking about. When I was campaigning, I went around, I talked to 300 people, knocked on 300 doors, roughly. But when I told them like what my number one concern was the meeting time, simply because of the things that have been stated, that like I have to work. Like I'm 22 years old, I got to make a paycheck somehow. And like when I was talking to people about this, like I talked to Simeon. Simeon told me he had a number of people who came and talked to him about running for the seat. And one of the number one reasons they didn't do it before I decided to run was because they were concerned about the meeting times. So we're reducing the number of people. Like I know this year we had a ton of vacancies and issues with vacancies and getting people to run. I feel like the meeting times, moving them to the morning is only going to amplify that problem and make that worse. And when I would talk to people as I was knocking doors, there was another thing that came up where they'd be like, well, it almost seems like they're trying to, close the doors behind them to make it so that people can't run and try to eliminate competition, which that may or may not be true. I don't know if that's true. I'm brand new around here. But I mean, the easiest way to kill that perception is to have the meetings at night when somebody who's working can actually make the meeting. So if we want to be transparent, I think that's the way, and we don't want to draw the ire of our community, then let's put these meetings at a time where somebody like me or some of the other members of our board, can work and still be involved. And, that would just be my encouragement as a working individual. I strongly request this board vote down the motion.
Thank you. Supervisor Miller?
Thank you, Madam Chair. 2 years ago, most of you recall that we had discussion about what time the meetings in other counties occur. And most of them came up, they were at night. And I was well aware of that because I worked with people from Winnebago County, Outagamie County, whatever. So I can see their sentiment. I hardly missed a meeting over the years, and I pretty much worked, 12-hour shifts. And at times I would ask, can we have the meeting at 7:30 in the morning? I'm just getting off at 12 hours. It only happened one time, but they did. A lot of people said they don't get up till 8 o'clock, even though they were retired. So I'm completely flexible. The last 5 years I've been retired, but I can see their sentiment. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Miller? Seeing no other requests to speak, we'll vote on the amendment to make the meeting times May through September 7 p.m. and December through April at 8:30 a.m. Please vote your ballot. Amendment motion failed. 2 ayes, 18 noes, 1 excused. So we are back to the rules of order. Are there any other requests to speak on the rules of order? Waiting. Okay. Okay. Supervisor Dietrich.
Yeah, I'm confused, but it says I have the floor, so I'm just going to jump in real quick. I promised you that I was going to make a motion to go to all 9 o'clock, but I've changed my mind because I think these gentlemen and ladies are right. Some people can't make morning meetings or it's a hardship, so I'm not going to make that motion. If someone else does, that's up to you. Thank you.
Any other requests to speak? Otherwise, we'll vote on the rules as amended. All right, please mark your ballot. All right, the rules of order have passed unanimously, so we will move on, and this is our official call to order now that you have rules to follow. So we are going to appoint ballot clerks, and I'm going to appoint Kimberly and Todd as ballot clerks. And our first order of business is to elect a chair for a 2-year term, and it is by secret ballot. So,
Which one do we get? Nominating ballot.
I'm just going to read this quick. Secret ballots shall be used to elect the chair, vice chair, and second vice chair, with a nominating ballot followed by formal ballots until a majority vote of the members present elects such officers. So right now, you are nominating a person to elect as your chair. Nominating.
That's one way to get you out of your chair.
Oh, I got it. I'm sorry. Those you need.
Yes.
Why?
2601 and 2601.
What?
It's the same thing.
It's a stupid, yeah. So what's the difference?
I know.
I think I got two.
We should have done that. That would be-
Is that it? All right, we have nominations for Supervisor Connors and Supervisor Stuckman. And to be fair, I'm just going to go in alphabetical order. You have 3 minutes to address the board. Supervisor Connors? Excuse me, is your microphone on?
I I haven't.
Thank you.
I made a commitment to Calumet County for 45 years. That's starting this July. And in those 45 years, I have fought for the services of children, elderly, and the disabled. I've supported them with all the much-needed services and programs and all the legislation through the Ambassador Program, which I created when I was president of the Wisconsin Counties Association. That association is still active today. My contacts both on the local, state, and federal level have been good for the influence of Calumet County, also earning me the prestigious Friend of County Government from the WCA in 2021, and most recently the Distinguished Service Award for exemplary leadership from the East Central Regional Planning Commission. When you go to any of the meetings, and you will know, they know Alice Connors and they know what I am from Calumet County. I have served as your chairperson for 4 terms, and I am proud of the work I have done. I think I would like to continue the leadership that I have provided for you. I would appreciate your vote and for another 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Connors. Supervisor Stuckman?
Thank you. A little bit about me. We already talked. District 21. Wife Leslie, 2 kids, Connor and Brody, live in the south end of the district. I was approached about running for this last term, and I turned it down. And this, by me running, is not an indictment against Alice whatsoever. She just made that point. I've gone to a couple WCA conferences, legislative conferences. Everybody knows Alice. She's a heck of a dancer, I'll tell you that. But that being said, I also look at it as a timing situation for the county board, right? And I'm trying to strategically here about the future. So if I'm correct, and Todd, jump in here, but your contract's done at the end of 27, right? Which aligns with our county board. So, a risk we do have as a county board is we could, if Alice decides not to run and Todd decides to retire, we could have a new chair and a new administrator in that same year. I don't know about that, is that such a good idea? But I think that's one reason why we maybe want to have a little overlap. And who knows, Todd could stay on another contract, Alice might stay on another 5 terms. Who knows, Alice, that could happen, right? So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it, as more of a strategic approach and looking at how we look at our leadership going forward. So thank you for your support.
Thank you, Supervisor Stuckman. You are now going to vote your formal ballot.
The other 2 must have pulled out, but they'll go for vice chair.
Supervisor Connors, you have been re-elected chair. Congratulations. And that is my cue. I get to leave, and Alice is going to hop up here and take over the meeting.
Give me a minute to get everything together. Is that pad up here, up there? No. I'd just like to thank everyone for your vote of confidence. I will do my best and continue to do my best to keep Calumet County in the forefront. Thank you again. We will now move on to the election of a vice chair for a 2-year term. Oh, excuse me, we need to approve the agenda before we move on. Do I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a motion by, who was the other one?
Pat Latour, second.
Pat Latour, okay. Any additions to the agenda? There are no additions. Are there any questions or deletions on the agenda? If not, please vote your ballot.
It's there. I said yes.
Andy, would you? Let's try it. I can do it for you.
Andy, can you vote? Oh,
I can do it for you.
all right.
He said yes.
Yes, okay. All right, we have 20 yes, 1 absent.
Sounds right.
So we'll move on to approval of the minutes. I need a motion. I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Cleveland. Are there any questions on the minutes of February 17th? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. Ann, would you vote, please? Thank you. We have 19 yes, 1 abstained, and 1 absent. Okay. Moving on, we'll have the election of the vice chair for a 2-year term. And you will use your yellow ballot as a nominating ballot. I haven't got any ballots. Maybe my little- On paper. We have 4 nominees for first vice president. Or Five, excuse me. Matthew Booty, Ty Stuckman, Ron Diedrich, Mike Hufsberger, and Mary Schwallenberg. And they do the. All right. You have 3 minutes to speak. Mr. Booty, would you care to speak?
Thank you very much. I think I don't even need 3 minutes here. I can be faster than that. Thank you very much for the nomination. I've been on the county board for 16 years now, along with Peter and Joseph. We're tied for second place with experience. I think combined, we just outrank Alice with her 45 years. I've served on quite a few committees in my time here. I've chaired a good number of those. But of course, being vice chair isn't just about chairing. It's about being there to support the chair whenever she needs it. And that includes representing the county outside of the county with our neighbors, inside the county with our partners. And I think it involves supporting county board members. I'd like to work with administration, with the chair, with committee chairs, and with every individual member to help achieve goal 1 of our strategic plan, to nurture and develop every one of you to your full potential. Just like I was taken under the wing of a few people 16 years ago myself, and nurtured to this stage, I'd like to help everyone else out. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Booty. Supervisor Stuckman.
You heard my spiel already, right? I don't have to go through this again, do I? I think 2 things what I would look to do as vice chair is, one is, and Matthew kind of talked about this, and what about a third of our board supervisors are within 2 or 3 terms, right? So a third of us are relatively new. And I know I struggled my first term. I know others have struggled in the first and second term, really understanding. And today's beginning of the meeting, not all meetings are like that for your new people, just so you know. Usually that first meeting is kind of a doozy. But what can I do to help new members come on board, making sure all your questions are answered? And the other thing is, too, I think we need a stronger conduit to Madison, right? Other counties have their representatives on a regular basis just talking about what's going on in Madison. We don't do a lot of that here in Calumet County, so I would advocate to do that going forward. So, thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Stuckman. Supervisor Diedrich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll withdraw my name. I thank those who may have nominated me. I got my eye on that second vice chair spot.
Supervisor Hufberger.
I think I've got more than 16 years in. I don't really know. So I think due to the fact that I don't know, that's reason enough to not count. So I also will pass. Thank you.
Supervisor Schwallenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I served for several years as a citizen member on some committees, and then when the supervisor in my area decided to leave the office early, I was appointed to fill in his term. I chaired Health and Human Services and the Parks Commission for several years. I also, excuse me, am on the County Mutual Insurance Board, which is our liability insurance, and plus some of their claims committees. I'm also on the board of Group Health Trust, which is our health insurance for the county. Related to, in my profession before I retired, was a registered nurse. I served as co-president on WALDAB, which is the Wisconsin Association of Local Health Departments and Boards, and I'm still on the board as the Northeast rep. As far as the Wisconsin Counties Association is concerned, There are a couple committees, I'm on that one, and I'm also on a steering committee for NACO, which is the National Association of Counties. I had been vice chair previously and worked with Alice. I enjoyed it, and I would appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we have, your next ballot would be your green ballot for either Supervisor Booty, Supervisor Sticka, Supervisor Huffberger, and
He left.
Supervisor Schwallenberg.
He's off.
All right. Then we're down to Supervisor Booty, Supervisor Stockman, and Supervisor Schwallenberg. Booty, Stockman, Schwallenberg. Booty. We just have Booty and Schwallenberg.
Yes.
All right.
Because the lowest vote getter dropped.
Okay. All right. The lowest vote getter drops off, so we have Matthew Booty and Mary Schwallenberg.
Oop, oop, oop.
Unless you want this one. The first vice chairperson will be Supervisor Booty. Now moving on for the second vice chair, your nominating ballot will be your yellow ballot.
Probably need more than one.
Here's the yellow one. Did nobody ballot? For second vice chair, the nominees are Supervisor Diedrich, Supervisor Hufsberger, Supervisor Breeden, Supervisor Stuckman, and Supervisor Schwallenberg. And you'll use your green ballot. Let's see, Supervisor Diedrich, you spoke before. Do you want to continue or not?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I said before, I got my eyes on this job. I do a terrific job. I love it. And I've been supervisor for 13 or 14 years and happy to bring the new people along. Thank you.
Supervisor Hufsberger?
Yes, absolutely.
So you're pulling your name, or you're still in it? Good, all right. Supervisor Breeden.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you exactly how much experience I have on this board. It's a very round number. It's 0. But I wanted to throw myself in here just because, and not to be combative. I'm sure there's a lot of people here who are very well qualified. But I have experience on. I graduated from Milwaukee School of Engineering just this last year. I moved back to the area. While I was down there, I graduated with a 4.0 GPA from arguably the toughest engineering school in the state. While I was there, I did that on top of leading InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. At the time, I was the president of that organization. I did 10 hours a week on top of a full-time schedule for that. And I was also a part-time tutor, so I had a 5-hour-a-week job on top of that. So I think I have the capacity to do this. I've never had a challenge that I couldn't take on. And one of the things that came up when I was kind of meeting and figuring out what I wanted to do for for committees and stuff was that the big thing that kept coming up is the meeting times are going to make it very difficult for you to do something. So I really want to be a part of the committee that's like putting some of these committees together, because I'm like, well, maybe we could restructure some things so that way we could have another, like, people who want to be on earlier committees can be earlier in the day, people who want to be on later committees can be later in the day, and we can just kind of split the committees up that way so we can get more participation. I think we got a really big problem if we've got 5 write-in candidates, you know, and people getting in at the last minute because we can't get people to run for this. So, and I really just, you know, I think also as having a young person, you know, 22 years old, I would really ask this board to make an investment and give me a shot. I've never had a challenge that I couldn't take on, that I wasn't able to overcome. So, I mean, maybe I'm completely ridiculous for putting my hat in the ring here, but I'll let you all be the judge of that.
All right, thank you. Supervisor Stuckman, do you want to say any more?
Good, thank you.
Okay. And how about Supervisor Schwallenberg? You
So
okay?
am I. There's no comedian in me. So, but I would appreciate your support. Thank you.
All right, so then we have Supervisor Diedrich, Supervisor Huffsberger, Supervisor Breeden, Supervisor Stuckman, and Supervisor Schwallenberg. Your green ballot. Here. Are these a no ballot? Okay.
Oh, here.
Here.
Samuel is the lowest, so he drops off.
Okay, so now it's those 4?
Yep.
Okay. All right, the ballot, for the nominees for second vice chair are Supervisor Diedrich, Supervisor Huffsberger, Supervisor Stuckman, and Supervisor Schwallenberg. I know. Well, we spent some one person is not voting. One person is not voting. I don't know. Blank. Here's the sheet. Two nominees left to vote is Supervisor Stuckman and Supervisor Schwallenberg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it gets better.
I'm not worried.
We still have a tie vote between Stuckman and Schwallenberg, so you will vote again.
Is that legal? Can I pull out? Can I withdraw?
Pardon?
Can I withdraw?
All right.
Let's get out of my game.
All right, we have a withdrawal by Supervisor Stuckman, so Supervisor Schwallenberg would be the second vice chair. All right, moving on, communications. We have a thank you card from the family of Patricia and Virginia Laughrin, thanking us for their flowers. The other one is a letter from TC Energy regarding the expansion of their pipeline, and I'm going to refer that to the Planning and Zoning Committee. And we also have the WCA district meetings memo and tentative agenda. Beth, did you want to speak to that? Do they have to make reservations?
Yeah, they actually can do it themselves. They can make the reservations and sign up, or if they don't want to, let Cheryl know. and
Is
she'll
there a
sign up.
deadline?
I don't know if the form says.
All right. All right. These district meetings are held every 2 years. What you find is you find out about what the Wisconsin Counties Association is all about, their goals, strategies, and it's a good learning experience. If you've never been to them, it's very important that you should go, especially the new supervisors. It's being held at the Paper Valley Hotel, and it's at 8:30 to 11:30 on June 4th. Is it? 4th. You need to reserve ahead of time because you will be served a breakfast. So I encourage you to do that. You have the information in your packet, and so let's hope that we have at least a good turnout. It's from 8:30 to 11:30. Okay, moving on, is there any public participation? I don't see anything over there, okay. We have special business. Review and approve the policy for the medical examiner when physician refuses to sign a death certificate. Who's going to speak to that? Well, do you want to go to Diedrich, or you want to handle that? Supervisor Diedrich, did you want to speak to that, seeing that it came before the Administrative Services Committee? It was from the coroner.
Yes, I'd be happy to. Thank you, Madam Chair. We had an opportunity a couple months ago to look at this issue, and addresses there's fees involved, and they have to have a policy for assigning the death, and the certain circumstances. He explained to the administrative committee how they're going about it, and found out that we now have fees he's suggesting here more in line with what's reasonable. And also there's some cases where they can tie fees in to the funeral home as opposed to the family getting charged double for transportation of the deceased, et cetera. So it seemed like a pretty good policy to us, unless Todd or anyone else can add to that. We're basically approved it and passed it on to the board. Do we have to approve this today, or just
Yes.
accept it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, approve it.
Okay, so.
And I have a motion by Supervisor Booty and a Supervisor Latour, so to move
Okay,
it forward.
very good. But basically, we learned a lot at the admin committee about this policy and procedure, and I hope you support it. Thank you.
Are there any questions regarding the policy? If not, please vote your ballot. So we have 20 yes, 0 no, 1 absent, and that policy has been approved. Moving on to resolutions, we have resolution 2026-02.
Resolution 2026-02 is designating April 20th through the 24th, 2026 as Work Zone Awareness Week in Calumet County.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Miller and a second by Supervisor Schwallenberg. And Supervisor Booty, would you speak to this resolution?
Thank you very much. If you were driving down County Highway BB this morning, you would have seen them. County Highway Department employees working on our highway system. It is springtime, and road work's happening again. This resolution recognizes the importance of work zone safety. For those of us who were on the county board 11 years ago, we remember when one of our own employees, Derek Burkhalter, was killed in a work zone. Passing this resolution every year is very important to me. It's always very important to Derek's family. I hope that you will vote in favor of this resolution and keep in your hearts and in your minds as you're driving how important it is to make sure that everyone gets home safely at the end of their workday. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Booty. Any questions regarding this resolution? If not, please vote your ballot. 20 yes, 0 nay, 1 absent. That resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2026-03.
Resolution 2026-03, authorizing continuing appropriations.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Tunis. And Supervisor Diedrich, would you speak to this resolution?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an annual event that we look at what issues or what monies have to be carried forward. So it's continuing appropriations, money that was underspent or not yet committed from last year for projects, and we're just carrying it forward to the next year. And just please approve it.
Okay, any questions regarding this resolution? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 20 yes, 0 nay, 1 absent. That resolution has been adopted. Moving on to Resolution 2026-04.
2026-04, resolution reauthorizing self-insurance under the Wisconsin Workers' Compensation Act.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Tunis. And Supervisor Diedrich, would you speak to this resolution?
All right, it says here reauthorization. I don't think we did the motions right.
do the motion because I didn't touch it.
We didn't do it.
That was the last one
All
that we
right,
did.
I was waiting for a motion. All right.
Okay.
I have a motion by Supervisor Miller and a second by Supervisor Tunis.
Thank you,
And now
gentlemen. Okay.
Supervisor Diedrich, would you read?
All right, yes, I will. We are self-insured for workers' comp and have been for years. We looked at, again, last year it made sense, so we're going to continue that forward. So please approve this authorization.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding this resolution? If not, please vote your ballot. We have 20 yes, 0 nay, 1 absent. That resolution has been adopted. Moving on then to Resolution 2026-05.
Resolution 2026-05, resolution creating 1 full-time equivalent program coordinator and 4.5 full-time equivalent school psychologists in the Calumet County Department of Special Education, effective March 17th, 2026.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Schwallenberg and a second by Supervisor Booty. You each have the job description on your table there. Are there any, let's see, let's have Supervisor Diedrich speak to this as it came before Administrative Services Committee.
All right, this resolution, obviously, as it says, authorize program coordinator and school psychologist. It's under a grant, so it's my understanding, and Todd can correct me, that this is not a financial tax, it's not on our tax roll, and these positions will exist as long as we have the grant. Further questions, throw them out, and we'll see if we can try to answer them for you.
Are there any questions regarding this position? Supervisor Booty. Or Macheski, I'm sorry.
Just want to clarify, and I'm not sure who this question would be directed towards. It said that education is master's, but I think to be a licensed psychologist in Wisconsin, you have to have a PhD. I didn't know if there was any clarification on that.
I'm going to have our,
We can answer that. It's on the school psychologist, it's not required to have, so it's a different educational background for a school psychologist versus some of the psychologists we would do have our mental health assessments. So it is only required to be at the master's level that I'm aware of. Is that correct?
okay, does that answer your question?
It does. I just, when I Googled it, got some conflicting information, so thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? If,
Matthew would like to speak.
Matthew Booty.
Matthew.
Supervisor Booty.
Thank you. I realize this was dated March 17th because we were going to be acting on this at last month's meeting, which was canceled, of course. Is there any reason we would need to revise the date on this to reflect today's date, or do we need, or is there any problem with that post-dating of this action?
Meaning we don't need to do it, is that it? Yeah. We do not need to modify the date, according to Kimberly?
Okay, thank you.
If it needs to be changed, it would just be a Scrivener error, so administratively.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
One more request to speak.
Supervisor Miller?
Supervisor Miller.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just for information, it does cover all 5 of the school districts in Calumet County, but none in Appleton, right? So we're talking Stockbridge, Hilbert, New Holstein, Chilton, Brilliant, right? Correct. Effectively.
The 5 district within,
Right.
yes, that's
So
true.
just for the benefit of a lot of the new supervisors, they can let their public know. Thank you.
Samuel's button isn't working, but he would
Oh.
like to speak.
So, Supervisor Breeden.
I guess one question I would have is if in 3 years the grant money runs out, what happens to this position? Are we just going to fire the person in that case? Like, that's just, I don't want us to get into a situation where we got to fire somebody after 3 years.
Do you want to speak to that?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. I'm Michelle Wright. I'm the Human Resources Director here for the county. Welcome all new members. Look forward to getting to know you. To the question of what happens if the grant's not renewed or runs out, the funding goes away, and yes, the positions would be eliminated. These positions will all be hired on a contract basis, so the contracts will include the necessary language regarding how and when positions end and that it's funding based, all those things. And the individuals coming into the positions upon hire, it will be made very clear that their positions are considered limited term, for example.
Okay. All right. Does that answer your question? Do you have another question?
Yeah, so I have one other thing. Is there a way for me to make an amendment to the job description at all, or do we not have control over that?
I have the authority to approve job descriptions. The special education director and I'm certainly open to suggestions if you believe there's something that should be changed.
It doesn't
Correct.
require any action for you to make on the floor because that authority rests with us. So if you would like to suggest a change, you can certainly do that.
Would I do that now, or like just later, or like what? I'm trying to learn here. Just make the suggestion? Or?
Sure.
So I guess the one thing that stuck out to me here, like, I don't want to like rub people the wrong way here, but the first bullet underneath prevention, promote tolerance, understanding, and appreciation of diversity within school community. I just want to say, as someone who recently graduated from a college that like definitely talked about this a lot, I had some of the nastiest stuff done to me in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, and I know that rubs a lot of people the wrong way when we start using that language. So I don't want to like, get to get into the weeds here or anything like that, but I would just ask that we strike that bullet from the job description. I don't think it adds anything to the job description, and I think we could hire for this contract without it. So that would be my 2 cents.
I believe that language comes directly from the grant, but I will double check that. But thank you for the suggestion.
Typically, we would not include it unless it's required from the grant, just so you know. We do not have that in our regular position descriptions of any sort.
Sometimes it's required as part of a grant. Okay, I have no one else wishing to speak. So would you please vote your ballot? All right, I have 19 yes, 1 no, 1 absent. And so that ordinance has been approved. All right, moving on to ordinances 2026-01.
Ordinance 2026-01. Ordinance to amend Chapter 82 zoning code on certain property in the town of New Holstein, property of Scott and Susan Baus, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Latour. And Supervisor Huffberger, would you speak to this ordinance, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Scott and Susan Baus are requesting to rezone approximately 3.6 acres from the General Ag District to the Heartland District. The 3.6 acre lot is an existing residential parcel, and no farmland will be taken out of production as part of this request. The rezoning is consistent with the town and county comprehensive plan, and the town of New Holstein has no objections to the proposal.
All right, are there any questions regarding this ordinance? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. Supervisor Laughrin? Thank you. 20 yes, 0 nay, 1 absent. That ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to supervisor reports. Have any of you attended any meetings prior to this one? don't see any request to speak. Huh? Oh, Supervisor Schwallenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We celebrated or had Student Government Day last month. I don't know if Carly is still here or not. They were 8th graders from all the schools in the county except New Holstein. This was probably the largest group that has ever come, because with the small class sizes, some of the teachers thought, okay, they were limited to 6 or 7, but they had 10 kids, so they just brought them all. So they went over and toured the jail, and then the K-9 unit was here. Alec, right, it's not, Amir's gone, yeah. And they had lunch that was provided by the American Legion Auxiliary, and Congressman Tony Weed spoke to these kids during the lunch period. And, excuse me. And then after that, they had some other things, and one of the things that the kids liked was there was like a job fair that was set up with all of our departments to explain to the kids what they did, and they really enjoyed that. As far as human services is concerned, you would have seen in the administrator's report that we said goodbye to our deputy director, Lynn Brenner, because she retired as of April 13th. She's been with us a lot of years, 30-some years, in economic support and other areas too. I just wanted to make a comment, if you're following what's going on with the state, that the governor signed into law that people on, we call it food share or SNAP, cannot have gum or candy, cannot buy that with their stamp, but it was kind of a trade, because then he got the bill signed that would give us extra personnel to make sure that, according to the federal government, that we don't go over a 6% error rate, and we're well below that anyway. So, but so we don't have to worry too much about that one. As far as parks is concerned, the weather is nice. Adam says parking is starting to fill up, and we can look forward to, we don't know exactly when, the mayflies are going to come if you want to go down to the park. So, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Supervisor Schwallenberg. You have the county administrator's report. Oh, excuse me, we have one other one. Supervisor Booty.
Thank you very much. It's a little old news, but we didn't have a meeting in March, and I'd like to share. In early March, I had the opportunity with the Wisconsin Transportation Development Association to join them on their fly-in to Washington, D.C. To discuss about the importance of transportation to the people of Wisconsin, and particularly to highlight the impact of Wisconsin's counties on the surface transportation to our elected representatives out there. We had a very good discussion with our people out there and some of their staff members. And then later in March, with the Wisconsin County Highway Association, we had a drive-in to Madison where we got to meet with our elected representatives down there at the end of their legislative session. I'll just share with you a little story about the importance of county highways and how maintenance is important. During the snowstorm we had back in middle of March, a snowplow operator in Waupaca County had a heart attack while he was driving his snowplow, and he needed to be taken to a hospital. Well, the nearest hospital that he could be taken to was in Winnebago County. And so, in the blizzard, he had an ambulance, he was in an ambulance, and the people in Waupaca County plowed the road in front of that ambulance to the Winnebago County line, where they were met by a snowplow from Winnebago County, who then escorted that ambulance to the hospital. That is the kind of importance that a good highway maintenance does for you in the state of Wisconsin. One other interesting statistic is in the state of Wisconsin, with that blizzard that we had in March 15th through 17th, there were no traffic fatalities associated with that storm. So that is a testament to the wonderful work of our county highway crews in keeping roads safe for people who are driving. Also a good testament to people of the state of Wisconsin to be smart enough not to drive when conditions warrant it. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Booty. And I'd just like to express my appreciation for our county workers who kept the roads going and just kept everybody safe during that terrible snowstorm. So, and that was one reason why we did not have that meeting in March. I just felt it was not safe for our supervisors to be on the road to come for maybe a half an hour meeting. So that's the first time that's happened in a long, long time. So, all right, you have the county administrator's report. Are there any questions regarding that? I just want to congratulate the people who have been here for a while. You notice that they were listed in that report. All right, our next meeting is going to be May 19th at 6 o'clock. We will recess this meeting until 2 o'clock this afternoon. That will give the administrator, the chair, the vice chair, and the second vice chair an opportunity to go over your interest finders and make appointments to the county committees. So it would be very helpful if you want to come back. If you cannot come back, we need to know so we have a quorum. So will everybody be able to come back at 2 o'clock? Pardon? Anybody else? Okay.
We can try, Alan.
We'll try.
We can do that.
All right, will do. Okay. All right. With that, we're recessed until 2 o'clock.
Yeah.